It's the boy, Bubba, let's coming through. Hella clutch, flawless, can't be touched. It's your boy, Bubba, let's. Yeah, I need that hot take. I need the truth and everything that is not fake. So tell me who's the goal.
Hello, Bubba Bunch, and welcome back to another edition of the Bubba Let's Sports Podcast. It is your boy, Bubba Let's, joined by Kevin once again.
Yes, sir.
On
yes, sir.
Week 16 edition of Winners and Losers in the NFL. Happy Hump Day.
Oh, yeah.
You want to hump
right.
together?
This is the direction we're going right away. Okay, cool. Nice.
It's the shirt, man. It's got to be the shirt.
Hey, man. Looking good, man.
Thanks, man.
Looking good, man.
For all you that are listening to this and you haven't seen the shirt, you're gonna. A lot.
Oh yeah.
This is a very comfy shirt.
If you guys know who at Hitcher Right is, it's those kind of vibes right there.
I'm pretty sure people don't, but a better way to look at it is like go to like Forever 21 or even like Ross, TJ Maxx, whatever, and just find a shirt just in like a corner, and you're like, who would ever wear that shirt? And I'd come in and be like, this guy would buy that shirt.
Looking good, man.
Hey, thanks,
you know,
man.
it's a good way to, unfortunately and sadly, begin one of the last winners and losers, because season's almost over, man. Season's almost over.
We got this one, week 17, and then we'll probably end off the year or the season with winners and losers. But we kind of already did that with surprises and disappointments. But we'll figure it out, because I want to do one to where we kind of do the end of the year. It's like literally New Year's in 2 days. But I want to do like best moments in sports, worst moments in sports throughout the year.
Ooh, I like that.
So
I got a lot.
It's kind of our variation of winners and losers. But for now, let's focus on the NFL Week 16, because pretty straightforward. No kind of being around the bush this week. It's pretty simple what we're going for in winners and losers. So, you know the deal. Winners, they get a little bit of bubbly.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
I screwed up on the mouse, so give me a second.
Are you good, man?
Yeah, losers. And the honorable mention of the week, which is always just a fun thing to do.
It's a joy.
It's a joy.
And I want my damn respect too.
We're also adding on one final thing
Yes.
once we finish the winners and losers, but we'll get to that. So, would you like to go first, sir? Or should I? Because mine is pretty simple. Mine's pretty basic.
Oh, well, you know what? Go for it. I'll give you the honor.
If you haven't been living under a rock for the last week or so, and you actually watch football and can comprehend football, and even those who can't, I think that if you look at a stat sheet like this and you say, well, touchdowns are important in football, 6 touchdowns is a lot. So, if you have a brain, the first winner of the week is, of course, Alvin Kamara, because he got his quarterback back. And, dear God, did he just destroy the Minnesota Vikings defense.
He single-handedly won the Saints that game. 100%.
And won a lot of people their fantasy
and made
games.
a lot of people lose their championship, unfortunately.
Hey,
Goddamn.
Winner, loser. You are loser. I'm just kidding. But yes, I've never seen a performance like that in fantasy. In our league, he got me 56 points.
Yeah.
And I was on pace to get like 200, which I've never done before. But Alvin Kamara did it. So 22 carries, 155 yards, those 6 touchdowns, which tied the record for most rushing touchdowns in a game ever in NFL history, alongside Ernie Nevers in 1929. I can't tell you who even remembers 1929. But I'm pretty sure that in 1929, 6 touchdowns in a game was not the talking point of the town.
No. Nope.
And this record has just gone along through all the greats of Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, Adrian Peterson. We're even getting Derrick Henry. But
Yeah.
no one has ever reached the level of 6 touchdowns to tie that record from 1929. And he should have broken it, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
Sean Payne decided to be an asshole for about 2 minutes, and he said, Taysom Hill, I know that you have disappointed me a lot this season as being a quarterback, and Drew Brees is back in there with 11 fractured ribs, and he's still playing better than you as a quarterback. But why don't we just give you a little consolation prize and get yourself that touchdown? Even though they took a timeout and ran down the play clock to get Alvin Kamara some rest. Alvin Kamara's waiting on the fucking sideline. And he's like, put me in, coach. Sean Payton's like, nah, your boy Taysom's got it. So instead of going for the record that is withstood for that amount of years, since 1929, and you say, nah, you already got 6. Kamara, very humble, said, it's all good. Taysom shared the love. We all share the love here.
Spread the wealth is what he said. Yeah, spread the wealth.
I think there's got to be some obligation in that contract where it says if you score this amount of touchdowns, you're getting paid.
That has to be an incentive. Tying an NFL record has to be an incentive.
Well, I feel like if you score 6, when a lot of people in their contracts probably have, like, if you score 10 or more in a season, then you get a bonus. This man single-handedly earned himself a bonus in one game, in one afternoon,
Yeah.
in like a 2-hour stretch. But Alvin Kamara, dear God, man.
Yeah, he's just a freak of nature. I mean, stat-wise, I understand. If you want to make the argument of who is the best running back right now in the NFL, you can choose between, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara. But Alvin Kamara, like, he literally does it all. Everything. Receiving, running,
Blocking.
blocking.
He can block, too.
I think it's a pretty good argument if you want to say that he is the best running back in the league because he can do everything. Everything.
That first touchdown he had in the first quarter, and he just blew past the secondary. He's gliding down the field.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like he's trying that hard, but he's gliding, and it feels like he's getting faster and faster. The play goes along. I mean, I can't even tell you how impressive it was to watch him, and he did it with Christmas shoes on. It's got to be the shoes, right? It's got to be the shoes.
Always.
So Alvin Kamara, it's so simple. It had to be done.
That stat line says it all.
It says it all. It's got to be the shoes. Alvin, enjoy some of the bubbly.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah. Even though you cost me, but whatever.
He's the whole reason why I won that game. I'm in the natty.
Unfortunate gameplay for me. Well, sir, you know who is not unfortunate this season? That bad man is back.
Oh, he's a bad
He's
man.
back. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say back? He never left. This season when the season started, right? There were so many people. Aaron Rodgers had a bad year last year. Aaron Rodgers was off last year. Aaron Rodgers just doesn't look the same. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if you know, but Aaron Rodgers' bad years are career years for some quarterbacks. So please withhold your disrespect. How dare you, my lord? And look, I love Josh Allen. I said that at the beginning of the season. Him and Russ were, probably going to win MVP. Patty P is over there breaking, everything. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Jesus Christ. But I don't know, man. I think Rodgers got this thing locked up.
He has to.
I think Aaron Rodgers has this MVP locked up, honestly. He has literally made every single game, besides 2, the Bucks and the Panthers game. Other than that, literally every single game this season, he's made it look easy. He's made it look so easy. it's to a point where you can literally say, "Oh, okay, so the Packers already automatically get 21 points because he literally scores 3 touchdowns a game." It's so simple. You can always guarantee 3 touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers. So at the beginning of the game, it's not 0-0. It's already 21-0. Let's just see if the other team can possibly catch up.
Yeah.
You know, he's so. I don't even want to say he's so good because we just know that he's always been good. You know, and I'll make this quick because at least for me, I think there's not really a lot that has to be said. Like I said, this MVP is locked up for Rodgers in my opinion. But the argument has always been who has been the better quarterback, who has had the better career at quarterback. And the argument has always been Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. If you want to look at statistics, obviously Tom Brady. Obviously. He has the rings to prove it. He has the records to prove it. That's fine. But out of pure talent, pure skill, just Aaron Rodgers is better.
He's like the perfect mold of what you want in a quarterback.
He's perfect. Aaron Rodgers is literally perfect. I feel like the way we feel about Aaron Rodgers right now in 2020 is how people felt about, like Joe Montana back in the 80s, because Joe Montana was the ideal quarterback in the 80s. Everybody wanted to be the next Joe, right? And when Steve came in, everybody wanted Steve to be like Joe. Yeah, Steve had a successful career, don't get me wrong, but was he Joe? He wasn't Joe. Let's be real, So I mean, what else? And also, not even to mention, we're Cowboys fans, so we have to call him Daddy Rogers because he owns us in general. My God.
Oh, he's daddy in general.
Oh yeah, for sure. Very handsome man. But yeah, man. I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers, you've literally been drinking bubbly for the past you got drafted in 2004, you started in 2008, so 13 years of your career. Have another one, man. My God. Also, enjoy your MVP trophy.
Oh, a little bit of the
I
bubbly.
mean, it's so simple. Like, you started off with a simple Alvin Kamara. Do I even have to say anything? What's his ratio right now? 43 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
He went into the Titans game 40-4,
And now
he
he's
just
43
threw
and 4.
dimes. Well, no, he had an interception in that game.
Also
Yeah.
43 and 5.
43-5, 43 or 44.
Oh, sorry, my God.
Yeah, it really hurts the stat sheet.
That's insane. 43 and 5.
The same way that Kamara is at just gliding down the field, it just feels so natural for Aaron Rodgers to throw 40, 50 yards down the field like it's nothing. And if he catches you off sides, it's a free play. He's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
Like, it's undebatable how he just is so composed in that situation where he just gets you again. He's been doing this for 13 years straight, and he gets you every single time. You know what's coming, and you can't do anything about it. But yes, I completely agree with you. Like, Tom Brady's the most decorated quarterback of all time, and he probably go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. But the argument about Tom Brady is that he's not athletic. He's not fast. He's not skillful in the tangible things in football. All of those skills are in Aaron Rodgers. Like, all of that was taken away from Tom Brady is put into Aaron Rodgers, because if you're saying, how do I build a quarterback? Fundamentals, throwing accuracy, throwing power, running ability, composure, mental aspect, I'm imagining Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a prettier ball come out of someone's hands than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers literally throws dimes almost every single play. And even if it's a miss, it still looks pretty. I mean, like, it's maybe like a 1-2 yard miss. I mean, he's just so good.
But the
He's-
one
God.
thing that people are underestimating this year more than ever is that he's finally got his off the field and just his mind right from all
Yeah.
the drama with his family, with his exes, whatever. He's meditating. He's just doing like some spiritual guidance type of stuff off the field, to where it's now helping him way more on the field. to where
Yeah.
everybody loves Aaron Rodgers. Like these interviews he's doing with Pat McAfee and, you know, these different interviews with different people, you know, they're different. He
Yeah.
doesn't care anymore. It's
Yeah.
not a bad care. It's like literally like, I know I'm good. I know what I can do. I'm just going to go out there and just do me.
You know, and the last thing I'm going to say before you go on to your next one, I really hope, and I'll say it like this. There's two things about Aaron Rodgers. One, I hope they get him a second receiver this offseason. I hope.
I mean, I don't think they need it.
Alan Lazard and MVS, I'm sorry, way too inconsistent in my opinion.
Well, who cares? You got Robert Tunyon, who's
He's
literally
so
he's a touchdown machine.
How did he not go to the Pro Bowl? Anyway, that's a different thing. And second one, don't sit here and tell me that Jordan Love did not light a fire under his ass. Come on.
Well, I feel like that's where,
Don't sit here and tell me that, dude. Come on.
I think that's where the meditation and all that mental stuff off the field really helped him, because he could have taken it really to heart and taken it personally,
Yeah.
but he didn't. Like they've interviewed him. He's like, I'm fine with it. I understand the situation of like, one day I'm going to be the Brett Favre to the Aaron Rodgers story.
Yeah. So
Like,
Aaron.
he's been there where Jordan Love is. But
Yeah.
I think if this was a few years ago, I think it would have been going down a lot differently. But since he's just fixed it, he's relaxed. Remember, like
Yeah.
when he said it, relax. I feel like now he's just said that about his entire life, and he deserves an MVP.
yeah.
I love Patrick Mahomes, but
His
Aaron
third?
Rodgers, second or third, I can't
Something
recall.
like that. Something like that. Well, either way, he deserves it. Listen, Patty, better luck next year.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, how about some more bubbly across Lambeau? You know, they had all
Oh.
the snow, but I think everybody deserves a piece of the pie,
It was such a well-rounded effort. I agree.
because you can just look at every aspect of this game and say they won in everything against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Look,
Oh, yeah.
I get it. The snow and that weather is devastating to any opposing team, especially a team that comes from fucking Nashville, of all places, that probably never sees snow. And you have like Ryan Tannehill that has played most of his life in Miami and went up to Tennessee. They're not getting snow anytime soon, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that this matchup was so in favor of the Packers before the game even started, it made it that more impressive to see the dominance on the field. Because, look, Devontae Adams caught 142 yards of Aaron Rodgers' 231 yards in the air.
That's insane.
More than
Devontae
half.
Adams is a freak of nature.
Well, he had 3 touchdowns. Three out of the 4 that Aaron Rodgers threw. By the way, Aaron Rodgers 128 passer rating. Jesus Christ. So Devontae Adams,
It's
just
simple for
the best fantasy wide receiver alongside Stephon Diggs this season. And
Yeah.
he's getting better and better each week. No one can defend him. And yet he's doing it in snow while Corey Davis is putting up a fucking goose egg.
And you imagine if Devontae played those 3 games that he missed, he would have shattered the touchdown record.
Well, think about how many seasons we've seen to where he's missing 3 to 4, even more games because of injury, and what he could have done in those games.
Yeah, man. Anyway, keep going.
It's been a while, but Quadzilla, AJ Dillon, have yourself a fucking day.
I'm really happy that they finally let him run, just because, you know, it sucks when a very, very talented running back like him is stuck at, you know, the 3rd or 4th string. Because look, Aaron Jones, monster. Jamal Williams, solid running back. So, you know, you have to go through the first stringer that can do everything in Aaron Jones. You have to go through Jamal Williams, that's a very solid runner general, and you're kind of just there like, hey, I'm super talented. My legs could kill anyone if I wanted to. Give me the ball. So I'm really happy that AJ Dillon finally got his chance, and my God, did he really showed what he's made of.
I mean, you got to assume that, like, with the snow and with the impact they can have in the passing game, that the running game would be heavily in favor of Derrick Henry. But
absolutely.
here comes the bulldozer that is AJ Dillon. His quads are getting larger by the second.
I would like to see him and Saquon take a picture of their quads together.
Well, that's probably not PG. I mean, that's got to be rated R.
Rated R for violence, for freaking murder.
For sexual behavior.
Oh,
Yeah, because yeah.
how? How does so wicked? Okay, anyway, continue.
21 carries, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns for AJ Dillon. And
man.
I mean, Aaron Jones had like 95 yards, but you can really make the case that Jamal Williams is going to have to take a step back now with AJ Dillon, and you can use Aaron Jones more in the passing game. You don't have to always give him the ball down the middle. AJ Dillon can do that for you. And at the goal line, do you really think you're going to stop AJ? You really think that's going to happen?
Yeah, right.
The man could kill me. The man could kill me right now. Pads or no pads. And I got to stop him at the 1 yard line. I'll pass. But when we can even talk about that defense, their secondary played really well.
Yeah.
Jair Alexander, I think, only gave up 1 pass. And like I just mentioned, Corey Davis had 2 targets, 0 receptions. They locked him down.
Yeah.
It didn't help my fantasy team, but oh well. I'm excited to see what the Packers are doing. I'm all on it, man. I'm saying Green Bay wins it all.
I've been on the hype train that, Green Bay is going to win the NFC 100%.
I don't even think it's close. I don't think it's close. I think it's a matter of who comes out of the AFC more than it is the NFC.
Yeah.
If you want to say the Saints have a good chance, I've been on the Saints bandwagon for about 2 to 3 years now where I think they can win a Super Bowl. Not this year. I can't tell you that I believe in them like I do the Packers.
With the Saints, it's because of the fact that Drew Brees is just not playing Drew Brees like. And we all know that if Drew Brees is not at his top level, the Saints just go down. They go down. So I've been on the hype train as well that the Saints window these last 3 years has literally been ripped from them because of the NFL. Horrible officiating. It's ridiculous. Just unluckiness. But not this year. Nope. I really do think that the best team in the NFC is the Packers, and there's no contestation. Any team that goes up against them, I really don't see it. I don't.
You got to score more than 40, at least.
Yeah.
You have to score more than 40 because they have dropped 40 bombs like it's nothing.
And you just have to hope that you can, because we've talked about it before. Their defense is bend but don't break. You gotta hope that you find a crack in there somewhere to even have a chance.
I think this game proved that they're better than what people assume about their defense.
So,
Lambeau, enjoy the snow, enjoy the frozen tundra, enjoy the bubbly.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
well, speaking of these Packers, my second winner just so happens to be their arch nemesis, their arch rival. What is the absolute best thing that could happen to a team leading to the playoffs? Happened to the Titans last year.
Got hot.
They got hot. You know which team is scorching hot right now? Scorching hot.
The Chicago Bears.
The Bears, man. Look, I'm not saying Mitch Trubisky has revived his career by any means. He's playing way better than before, but he has not revived his career. However, the Bears have been scoring like 30 points the last 4 games.
Yeah.
Their offense is revived. The David Montgomery that we're seeing now is the David Montgomery that should have been there in Chicago the last 2 seasons. Allen Robinson, freak of nature. If you do not sign Allen Robinson this season, those riots are going to be bad. They are going to be bad. Darnell Mooney getting a little bit of love this week. We just talked about him last, finally. And that defense is starting to, look like the Packers defense, don't you think? A little bit of a bend but don't break, a little bit of lockdown for some quarters, as they should be when you have a freak like Khalil Mack, when you have
Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn, you have Kendall Fuller in coverage.
Raquan Smith.
Oh, that boy's good. I mean, look, these Chicago Bears are hot. And you know what? Hey man, they might be 8-7. They could be the Titans of last season, going into the playoffs 9-7 and shocking some teams. Look, I'll get into it later, but there's some teams in that NFC that do not look ready for the playoffs, in my opinion.
Oh God,
They don't.
No. I'll get to one in a second.
They do not look ready, and I'm gonna get to it at the end of this episode. I'm gonna get to it, but to keep it simple, Chicago Bears look extremely hot. Mitch is finally looking like the quarterback that Chicago wants. David Montgomery's popping off. Their offense looks great, and their defense is doing enough. Their defense is locking down. What more could you possibly ask for a team entering into the playoffs right away? If they win this week, they're in. If they win, they're in. And honestly, in my opinion, as of right now, they're in. And they look like they can make some upsets.
I thought it was to where they need a win and they need one of the other teams to lose.
It was my understanding he was winning in.
Let's check the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears playoff scenarios. Here's how the Chicago Bears can clinch a playoff spot. In the Bears beat. Oh, it's simple enough. If the Bears win, they're in. I'm sorry, sir.
It's all right.
Fuck me. I don't know shit about sports.
Well, you know who does know shit about sports? At least for the last 4 weeks? Matt Nagy. Congratulations.
Hey, I like that. But they go against the Packers. Oh, but you can't say that it's that simple.
But it's my understanding that the Packers are resting.
No.
They're not?
Because they still have to clinch the first seed. I think if...
I thought they clinched last week.
No, they haven't yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Bears. You're not in the playoffs.
Shit. well, for now, Bears.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
But that's why I think that it's a more realistic look to where even if they lose, I think that if the Cardinals lose, then the Chicago Bears are in. But I could be wrong about that. I was just looking at the scenario yesterday with Eddie. Oh, man. Yeah, you figure it out. Google it.
Well, look, I mean, shit, who knows, man? Like I said, these Bears are playing out of their minds lately. So, who knows? Who knows?
I mean, you
We'll
go
see.
into the offseason, no matter what happens, saying, we might actually have something here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we don't have to just throw chaos into the carousel of the quarterbacks, and we actually have someone that we can at least have for another year.
For real. You never know.
Yeah.
So, go for it, sir. Your third one.
Third winner. Look, I'm not going to say that the Cowboys in general are my winners. They played really well and
Yeah.
a much-deserved win against the Eagles. You know, they had their moments where I'm like, okay, this is still a work in progress. That first quarter, that defense was absolutely one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Who doesn't put a QB spy on Jalen Hurts? Whatever.
Well, they did, but it was Jalen.
No, there was moments where they just literally didn't have anybody.
That was the joke.
Check the film.
That was the joke.
Jalen Smith isn't a joke. His play's a joke.
Yeah, well, his play, unfortunately. I love Jalen, but unfortunately.
It's been enough. It's been enough for me. But let's focus more on the positive. And for me this week, it was a great performance by Andy Dalton, but God bless, am I excited to see Michael Gallup finally just have himself a tremendous day.
Most underrated receiver on that Cowboys trio.
The forgotten soul, really, of
Yeah,
that
for
wide
real.
receiver core, because it's always going to be Amari Cooper first, who had a great game. CeeDee Lamb in the slot is an absolute beast. But the way that the Cowboys have been utilizing Michael Gallup since Dak Prescott went down is a lot of just short screens with one blocker. It's an illegal block in the back. It's a holding call. He gets maybe 2 or 3 yards out of it. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Let's move on with our lives. And Michael Gallup is given that, and if you don't take it, well, shit, he's going to have 0 targets for 0 receptions. But this week, they went to the formula of Bubba Lutz in 2018. The reason I say that, sir, is I'm going to take you back to Let's check the date here. May 4th of 2018 at 6:17 p.m.
You even have the time. Wow. Okay.
I want you guys to know that what I'm holding in my hand is my phone on the Notes app, and it is a note that I made on that day when I was evaluating the Cowboys draft class in 2018. That was led by Lane Vander Esch
Yeah.
and yours truly, Michael Gallup. So, on that day, round 3, Colorado State wide receiver Michael Gallup. 6'1", second-team All-American honor in 2017, more than 1,200 yards in each of his last 2 seasons. Size and speed, physical, difficult catcher with ability to find separation, but can improve, in quotations, Dez Bryant replacement.
Oh.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, why I love the pick, because I did give you an explanation. It explains why the Cowboys released Dez without negotiation. It was personal stuff, but I felt like they knew that they were going to get someone special in the draft that can do the same things that Dez does without all the drama, without all the injuries, and can do that physical, tough catch, 50-50 balls down the field. Similar to Dez, still has a lot of room to grow with separation and route running, which he has done over the last 2 seasons, and fits the wide receiver roster with speed, but also that physicality. The only reason I didn't like this pick was because it wasn't Calvin Ridley, it wasn't DJ Moore. And you've seen what Calvin Ridley's doing in Atlanta, an absolute monster there. And DJ Moore is doing really good things in Carolina. Christian Kirk was also in that draft. He's doing really great things in Arizona. So I felt like Michael Gallup was good, but he's not a number 1 receiver like some of these other guys have been. And he was like one of their least favorite in that draft. But this game proved that this is exactly what I want to see in 2018 when they drafted him. And this is exactly what Dak loves about Michael Gallup, is that whenever I need to go deep, whenever I have to take a chance down the field, I feel good about Amari Cooper. I feel even better about CeeDee Lamb. But Michael Gallup is my guy. He is going to catch that ball no matter what the scenario is. If I put it above him, above that defender, he's going to catch that ball. And that's exactly what happened on Sunday against the Eagles.
There's not a lot to say about him. Just look at the film. He's had so many 50-50 balls the last 2 years of the 2 years of his career that he's just won.
And I feel like he's bigger than what I'm seeing on TV. Like, he breaks tackles. He just overwhelms a defender. But what I'm seeing, 6 receptions, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns, I'm going back to these notes and I'm saying, this is the guy. And no matter what happens, like, he still has 1 more year in his deal left, in his rookie contract. So after 2021, he's an unrestricted free agent. If the Cowboys want to extend him, which is going to be difficult to do with all the weapons that he has on offense, even if it's the case of getting him traded or moving on from him, there's value in him. And I'm saying no matter where he goes, if I'm New England, if I'm Miami, if I'm what other team? Maybe Houston, because they did the same thing with Randall Cobb. I'm looking at Michael Gallup and saying, this guy is going to stun a lot of people. And he is maybe not a number 1 receiver, but if we pair him up with someone of equal or better value than him, he is going to be productive. He is going to annihilate second cornerbacks or a free safety that just can't get there in time, because he's going to catch those balls deep.
Packers.
If the Packers want to get to him, I think that is the most dangerous thing in all of football.
Yeah.
Because they're making it work with Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Imagine you add Michael Gallup instead.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Aaron Rodgers and Michael Gallup. Absolutely love it. Michael Gallup. Sir, I loved you in 2018. I love you now. More than ever. I could kiss you. But let the bubbly speak for itself.
Oh.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
God, that felt good.
Well, sir, let's round off the winners nicely, all right? Let's round them off nicely.
2 years in the making, and I was right.
You know what else we were right about? 2 weeks ago, we agreed on a scenario. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we agreed on a scenario, and it's worked out and it's come true. Jacksonville, congratulations. Trevor Lawrence is your quarterback. It's perfect. It's perfect. We said Jacksonville fits the mold that Trevor Lawrence needs. New York, stop it. Leave Sam Darnold alone. He could. I'm not saying he is. He could be your quarterback. Just give him a competent head coach. Give him a competent offense coordinator. Give him some weapons. Give him, your second pick? Give him a monster offensive lineman. Mekhi Becton has been balling out. The line could improve. And now you're going to draft Penei Sewell? It's perfect. It's coming into shape. But back to the main winner. Dude, this could start something. Seriously. DJ Chark now could have a competent quarterback. James Robinson, freak of nature already as it is.
Oh, wow.
It's a duo.
Yeah.
It's a duo. I mean, Trevor is already mobile as it is. That play action with DJ, with James Robinson. Dude, something could happen here. Something could happen. Maybe Laviska Shenault, that guy has proven that he can be a good second or a slot receiver. It's happening. Something's happening here. It could happen. Jacksonville, finally, it worked out. We said it, and it's working out. I'm excited. I'm excited that, Jacksonville could finally start their future with Trevor Lawrence. Because in 2015, when they went to the championship, ever since then, they've just been so garbage. But why? Because they've had inconsistent quarterback play. Their defensive prowess when it comes to their players have left. Dude, they could get their offense back on track. They could pick Trevor first overall, right? And they could pick the rest of their team on defense the rest of the draft. Dude. Jacksonville, congratulations. Jacksonville, get that bubbly. It's yours.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
I was looking up to see who was the running back for Clemson last year. So,
Which is CEH. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. I was thinking it was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but
you said Clemson, and I instantly thought LSU for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. I that's why I was looking up just to make sure, but it was Tyler Etienne. And I was like, the system and the play calling of what Trevor Lawrence and Tyler Etienne were doing in like the college football playoff and really the entire season of 2019, I could see that just completely copy pasted to what Jacksonville would do. Trevor Lawrence and James Robinson, who is like third in rushing this season and not talked about enough, can be utilized in so many different ways, but he fits the mold of what Tyler Etienne is. And if you can put those two together with some really talented wide receivers, with a new head coach, with a new offensive coordinator, which is most likely going to happen, it's about time in Jacksonville, and with a defense that needs a lot of time to develop, but if you bring in some more guys, a young group of guys, and hopefully CJ Henderson really improves next season, and some of those other guys on the defensive line, I could see this being a 2 to 3 year project to where maybe you're not making the Super Bowl, but at least be competitive in that division, because Houston doesn't look like they're going to get together in a few years. Indianapolis, they're really focusing on what's going on right now because they're focused on Phillip Rivers. I don't know what quarterback they're going to have for the next 5-10 years. And then Tennessee, yes, they have Derrick Henry and they have all the weapons, but Derrick Henry can't do this forever, and their defense is really going to hurt them a lot of the time. So unless they just magically get a new defense put together, this is a division that, like last year, is winnable. Like, you can just win your divisional games. You may not have the best record, but it's a toss-up. It's the NFC East of the AFC. Yeah. And if I'm Jacksonville, you get the best quarterback that we've seen in a very long time coming out of college. I mean, a Hall of Famer, potentially.
He's just insane, yeah.
You have a James Robinson that, if he keeps this pace, is a future Hall of Famer. You have receivers coming out of nowhere every single season. If you can get a defensive mind on the defense side of the ball, maybe a Wade Phillips, maybe, and then get a new head coach, a young guru or anybody like that. Eric Bieniemy, maybe he's interested in that job, or even the defensive coordinator for Buffalo. I'm liking where the Jacksonville Jaguars are right now. And you just got to thank the Jets for screwing this up a few weeks ago against Las Vegas. But Jacksonville, I am loving what they're going to do. And I think that boost of confidence that Trevor Lawrence is going to bring is exactly what's going to happen in Joe Burrow with Cincinnati. Only with a hopefully a better offensive line so you don't tear up his knee. Yeah. But just build a whole offense around him and you're golden.
Yes.
You may not be able to hold anybody to like 30 points, but at least you make everything a shootout, and I'm taking Trevor Lawrence in a lot of those shootouts.
Hey, you might be able to score 24, 28 at least, something.
Yeah, instead of 7 against the Bears?
Dub Bears.
Yeah. Love it, man. Love it.
Oh, it's happening. It's happening. Sir, please give us your honorable mention.
Well, my honorable mention was David Montgomery.
He's been popping the fuck off.
Well, yeah, because I'll just quickly say that not just this game, but in the last month, he has 6 rushing touchdowns and has gone over 100 yards twice. He got 95, 96 this week, and I think the other week he had like 73. But it's still pretty good. In his previous 10 games before this month, where he had 6, his total rushing touchdowns was 1. He had 1 touchdown rushing in 10 games. In the last 4, he has 6. He's actually running the ball.
Yeah, he is, and he's running it good.
Weren't we like midway through the season where everyone's like, "Does he know how to play running back?" And now here we are, and we're like, "Yeah, he kind of does."
Well, you know what? To those people, give it to him. Give it to him.
Oh, of course, yes.
And I want my damn respect too.
David, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
You deserve some respect.
Yeah, give him the respect. You know who else deserves some respect? And you could say what you want, but how about those Dolphins? How about those Dolphins?
No, we're not going to talk about the Dolphins. I'm usually on that, but not. I don't think this week is the week.
I'm very conflicted about the Dolphins. I brought up the Dolphins for this reason. I don't want to be mean, but you sure it was a good idea to bench Ryan? Look, Tua's been holding the fort down great. He has. I'm not gonna be disrespectful, but Tua was not having the best of games. He was not. It was not looking good. Myles Gaskin was carrying that Dolphins offense. But the second you put in Ryan, he drives down the field like if nothing and scores a touchdown. Are you serious?
Doesn't even see where he's throwing and still completes a dime to put him in field goal range.
So how about them Dolphins, but specifically Ryan Fitzpatrick, get back your respect, buddy.
And I want my damn respect too.
He just won't go away. He really won't.
It's the magic. It's the magic.
All
it's
right.
the Fitz magic.
Let's get through these pretty quick because we need to wrap up. But first loser, just like Alvin Kamara, it's an easy one. Dwayne Haskins is probably having the worst 2 weeks of his life.
It's been rough.
He is the best quarterback prospect to ever come out of Ohio State. I will say that without a doubt. We'll forever say that until a godsend quarterback like Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow finds his way to Ohio State. He is the best quarterback to ever come out of that program. 100%. In his career in the NFL, he has a 60% completion percentage, which is pretty damn close to what Jamarcus Russell is. Passer rating, 74.4, when the perfect one is like 158. He was released by the Washington football team on Monday. Went unclaimed in waivers today. Why not just fire your agent? Because he's not getting you a job. And so we're left with Dwayne Haskins, who was given every opportunity to succeed in Washington. Look, Alex Smith and some random dude from Old Dominion called Tyler Heineke
Looked great, by the way.
looked way better than you ever did when he had to come in against Carolina. He faced the same defense you did in not a blowout, so he could have like brought them back. He made it closer, but the dude came from Old Dominion. You came from Ohio State. What happened, man? Because, like, I'm gonna make fun of you for, well, not make fun of you for going to a strip club, but I did make fun of you because of it. That's fine. You can go to a strip club. If you don't want to wear a mask, then that's on you. But at least perform on the field, bud.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you've gotten benched, I think, the most times this season by any quarterback. And one last thing is that you went unclaimed when there's quarterbacks like Nathan Peterman, like Matt Barkley, like, I don't know, Blake Bortles even has a job,
Does have a job. You're right.
and you can't find a team. You, sir, have hit rock bottom. So you, sir, Dwayne Haskins, who might never play another fucking single game in the NFL because of how bad you are, Stephen A.
Yikes. That's all I have to say about that
Bad.
one. Yeah. Speaking of bad, and this team is gonna actually be on a little bit later. What happened to the Rams? What happened?
That makes it easy. That's one of mine.
What happened to the Rams?
They're phonies. They're big fat phonies.
They were 7-3. Lutz. 7-3. They've lost 3 out of their last 5. What happened? You know, Jared Goff was not playing MVP level football this season. He wasn't, but he was playing good football.
Never
At
has.
the beginning of the season, he was playing good football. What happened? My lord, he has been playing awful, and it doesn't make sense because Sean McVay is an offensive just guru, you know. But what happened? It's literally been a collapse. They've collapsed. They went from 7-3, first place in the division, to now 9-6, hoping they get into the playoffs. And hold on. They have a win and in scenario, and they don't even have their quarterback.
They have John Wolford.
Oh, hold on, I'm not done yet. And Cooper Kupp's on the COVID-19 list.
And they don't have Darren Henderson. And
Oh.
I don't even know if Cam Akers is going to play.
Oh my god, what happened? What happened? Look, they were not going to win the Super Bowl. I get it. But what happened? They were literally in the front running to be a fifth or sixth seed. Or you know, because you know, at the time they were the third seed, but we knew Seattle was going to come back eventually. But oh my god. What happened? I don't get it. I don't get, their defense has looked pretty much the same. They haven't been blown out of any games, but they look like the Packers defense, and the Rams defense has never been a bend don't break defense. They've always been solid. And you know, their offense is just like, I don't know.
Well, no,
I don't know.
the offense can't stay on the field. Their defense can stay off the field. And I mean, it doesn't help that Jared Goff broke his thumb.
It doesn't help that Jared Goff is not playing good football in general.
But that's always been the
Nuts.
thing, is like he has to be a good game manager, and it's all based on what he can do in the play action. That's a very difficult thing to rely on when it's Jared Goff and he's just average.
I don't know if you saw the game or if you saw a clip, but there is a clip of Sean McVay just looking absolutely disgusted at Jared Goff when he was coming back on the bench. He was livid at him. And ugh, yikes.
What's worse is that with all of these injuries and all these things going on with a lot of their players, is that they just lost to Seattle, who's number one in that division, and they lost
to San Francisco 3 weeks ago.
Well, if you look at their schedule, they've lost to pretty much any playoff contending team.
Yeah.
Like they beat the NFC East. Congratulations. So that's 4 of their wins already out. Their other wins, you're like, okay, cool. You beat the Patriots, who just aren't the same.
You beat the inconsistent Bucks, you know?
And so that leaves you with maybe 2 quality wins that aren't really quality, and your losses are all quality losses, but that really doesn't matter when you have to go in, as of right now, into the playoffs, wild card round, against Seattle again, who just made you look silly out there in a very disappointing game.
Look, these Rams are playing the Cardinals week 17. The Cardinals have been inconsistent, yeah, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're winning this game.
Well,
I don't.
They don't have Kyler either. So it's a battle of backup quarterbacks. So unless Dwayne Haskins comes in and starts for one of these teams, it's going to be a really interesting game to watch, and not for a good way.
Stephen A., play the sound that the Rams have been doing the last 3 weeks.
You lost to the Jets. You lost to the Jets.
Oh, they lost at the Jets too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the Jets played way better than them.
Jesus.
At least Cleveland had an excuse because they had none of their wide receivers. You had all of them.
Cleveland. Yeah, that's...
Since the Rams are my third loser, or my second loser as of now, my last loser are the Arizona Cardinals. Because guess what? They both play each other this week.
Well, the Cardinals are my second loser, so let's get into it.
Well, this is good for time. I'm just going to say that we've reached a ceiling with the Arizona Cardinals this year. And I said they were my sleeper team. I think for more than half of the season, I was correct on that. And then just something went wrong. I guess they just watched the podcast and thought, oh, we're good. But a 20-12 loss against the Niners, where you went 4 of 16 on third down. The 49ers were 2 of 9, so that's not even better. Kyler looked off. He threw 50 times, which is not good, and you only scored 12 points when you were supposed to be the high-octane offense that you were for majority of the season. But even DeAndre Hopkins looked off.
I'm gonna get into that. Continue.
Like, he was dropping balls. I've never seen DeAndre Hopkins drop any balls in his way. And these aren't like very difficult catches. I'm saying these are like very regular passes that I've seen Hopkins make and catch. But for the last few weeks, I just feel like they just shoot themselves in the foot and they really get on themselves. Like they are their own worst enemy.
Yeah.
But this idea that maybe Cliff Kingsbury is not the best decision is starting to grow on me, because I love Cliff Kingsbury, but I think it's just a running joke of like, I think he's just like really handsome. He's just a cool coach to be around. But when it comes down to it, he's going to get out coached no matter what. Like, he is a great value version of what Sean McVay is. Like the pretty boy, offensive guru, but at least Sean McVay has something to back it up. Cliff Kingsbury has a losing record at Texas Tech. And he had a losing record in his first season. He's done better this season with a really good offense. But I think it's come down to it now to where the discipline and the penalties, all of those factors are really going to fall on him, to where this might be the best Cardinals that we've ever seen.
My issue with Cliff Kingsbury and my issue with the play calling of the Arizona Cardinals. Look, I'm not sitting here and I'm in no way trying to say that, play calling is so easy. It's not. Play calling in the NFL is extremely hard. It is a science. I get it. I'm not dumb. However, let's take a look at the Arizona Cardinals offense. You have Kyler Murray, an extremely talented quarterback. Okay? And then you have arguably the best skilled receiver in the league, hands down, at least in my opinion. but you can make the argument if you want to at least top 3. Okay. You have an absolute speedster, firecracker in Christian Kirk. All right? And then you got Larry Fitz, all reliable. What is the trend about all reliable in the NFL? Okay, like he'll be there. He'll be there and waiting. No. Larry still got some juice in him. I'm seeing Larry dive for bombs that he shouldn't have to. You know? You got Chase Edmonds and Kenyon Drake. Nothing out of this world, but it's a good duo. So why aren't you using them? My issue with the Arizona Cardinals these last couple weeks specifically, and ever since they hit their ceiling and they started falling off, there's moments in the games that I'm seeing, and I'm seeing highlights of, where it looks like they're running the same play over and over and over again. They're trying to force the ball to Dan Arnold. Dan Arnold's great. I like him. But you got D-Hop one-on-one against a corner that can't cover him. You got Christian Kirk that could absolutely burn a double man with a safety and a corner. You have Larry Fitz that can go on a post route because he just can. So why are you going on shallow routes every play? Why? You have Chase Edmonds. I'm not saying Chase Edmonds is, freaking, Aaron Jones or anything coming out of the backfield as a pass catcher, or Alvin Kamara, but Chase Edmonds is very, he's very potent. He has it. Kenyon Drake's a hard runner. Why are you running the same play over and over again? Why are you not using your weapons? Why are you not getting creative? What happened? What happened? I don't understand. You have playmakers and you're not using them. If you want to give me the argument that D-Hop is third in the league in receiving yards, okay. Have you noticed that he gets a lot of his receiving yards in chunks? D-Hop has not been extremely consistent. He's consistent for 3 games, and then he has an off game, and then an okay game, and then a pop-off game, right? He gets a big chunk, and then an off game. I don't get it. What is happening with this play calling? Dude, do you really think, you made a good point that D-Hop was dropping balls, and that's unlike him. Still, you really think that 49ers secondary could have covered him? There were many plays in that game where I saw that D-Hop was one-on-one, and Kyler did not even look his way. What the hell? Why? You have the playmakers. Use them. Come on.
Well, I think it's just like you said, the inconsistency of just this whole team. Like, how do you go from scoring 35, 36 against the Eagles to a 49ers team that plays hard, but they're not as talented as you, and you put up 12? And you just, like, Kyler looked so frustrated after that game. Like, he was just on the bench and looked so frustrated. I'm like, you're the leader. Like, you are in control of this. Like, you determine what happens, how many points are on that board. Because
hell, even D-Hop's a leader. Look at how he talks to the teammates.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why aren't you using D-Hop? He's arguably the best player on that field all the time.
Well, I don't know. I think it would be fun to watch Arizona in the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to be a threat at all. And I never thought they were going to be a threat. I'd like to see how far they can go and how explosive, how fun can they be. But I think that fun's really come to an end, and it's all because of them. I don't think anyone's figured them out. It's not about that. It's just once they get down on themselves, it's disaster, because I don't think they have the experience at quarterback or at head coach that can really fix that.
The Arizona Cardinals are a team to me that they have like these stopping power rounds in every single position, but they're using duds. They're firing duds. And I don't understand. I don't get it. And their defense is another topic. Their defense is okay. It's okay. Yeah. It's nothing amazing. But the Cardinals have the potential to be like the Packers. But it's the play calling, the offensive mind is just not there, and I don't understand, because if you look at it on paper, you could somewhat make an argument that the Cardinals are a little bit more talented on offense than the Packers. Somewhat. Because yeah, you got Devontae Adams, absolute monster, but don't sit here and tell me that Alan Lazard and MVS are better than Larry and Christian Kirk. They're not. They're not. They're not. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon and Jamal Williams. Kenyon Drake is kind of like Jamal Williams. You could, like I said, Chase Edmonds has potential like Aaron Jones. It's there, but it's not being used. And I think I completely agree with your earlier point that they are shooting themselves in the foot, 100%. I don't know. It's rough. It's rough to see, and
Yeah.
they shouldn't be a loser. They shouldn't. But-
I think they should be definitely a playoff team. Like
Yeah.
they are a perfect wild card team when they're at their best,
Yeah.
and they can maybe shock someone in the first round. But for right now, going into Week 17, they need a win just to even think about getting in. And
It's only like what, 2 more teams to help them out or something like that.
think so. I mean, if Chicago wins, that makes it really difficult for them. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're going into the last game of the season without Kyler Murray, who has been probably the most crucial part to your offense.
It sucks,
So.
man. It sucks. It
All right,
sucks, yeah.
Stephen A.
So that means that my last one is it, right?
Yes.
Okay,
So we are
so-
now at the one last thing.
Yes. Okay. So then I'll make this one real quick so we can get into the rant because I've talked about it all season, so there's not that much explanation. You mentioned it earlier, and it's literally an absolute travesty. These Texans are going nowhere. Nowhere. I mean, you literally are wasting Deshaun Watson's career. 100%. You're not giving him any help. Will Fuller is extremely talented. Don't get me wrong. But Will Fuller cannot carry this team. He can't. Your defense is god awful. I mean, just god awful. My lord. David Johnson, come on, man. He had his prime, but he can't stay healthy.
Well, okay. Well, isn't Will Fuller suspended?
Will Fuller is suspended. Yes.
Ever since then, Brandon Cooks has been playing really well. But I think it's a lot to do with Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
David Johnson is actually impressing me because over the last few weeks he's had over 100 yards.
Now, while I agree with you, can he consistently be on the field to do that?
No, I mean the idea of him just being there was a joke in that
Yeah.
trade, but for the most part, like I feel like in this Week 17 matchup against the Tennessee Titans, I actually want to see that game because it's going to be a shootout. Like there's no defense. I'll agree with you. That defense is absolutely terrible, but they've never really had a good defense other than J.J. Watt. But I'm actually watching this game because I'm like, Deshaun Watson will make it interesting. And he's made the most of what he can do. Well, Romeo Crennel is just a temporary fix for the head coaching job.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think they're trying to do the most out of it. And I think right now when you look at a team that's that bad and you look at the players that want to be there, like J.J. Watt, he came out and said it. It's like, if you don't want to be here, then don't be here. Like, I'm tired of this bullshit of, like, we get paid a lot of money and people come to see us. They spend a lot of money. And if you don't want to put in the work, then don't be here. I think that's been a long time coming in Houston. But I feel like the idea of just, like, saying that the Texans are just beating themselves or they're just disappointed. It's like, no, it's just a bad organization with a lot of great players, which has always been the case. I don't know, like losing the Bengals isn't a loss in my opinion. Like the Bengals are just trying to end the season on a good note, while Houston Texans, their season was gone within week 3.
The Houston Texans are a completely sabotaged organization by one man that we will not name because literally he should be arrested for his crimes.
No,
My
yeah,
goodness.
his mistakes will will hurt them for many years.
So, like I said, I'm going to keep this simple so we can get to our last topic. And to end off this point, all that I just mentioned, the horrific defense, wasting Deshaun's career, not having a good offensive support system in running back or in wide receiver. You can make the argument like you said with Brandon Cooks, that's fine. But what about the other side? If you just have one, okay, double team him, what are you going to do? All right, he's done. David Johnson, I mean,
QQQT.
not Will Fuller though. And David Johnson, hey man, yeah, he's been impressive, but he's been impressive for what, 6 games? 6-7 games out of the 16? You know, to end it off. And they're not even getting any help soon. Because the man that should be arrested gave the Dolphins their 4th overall pick right now.
Oh God, I forgot
Fourth-
about that.
Did you know that Houston has a 4th overall pick technically as of right now? Oh wait, no, they don't, because it's Miami. It's Miami.
You just gave Miami the chance to either draft a high-end offensive lineman.
Or according to Mel Kiper, is it? I don't know if it's Micah Parsons, and that kid's a stud.
Well, if you just want to just say screw you, Houston, just go for Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith.
Well, can you imagine Jamar Chase? Can you imagine him on the Dolphins? Wow.
You do Devontae Parker, you do
Jamar Chase.
And Preston Williams. No, I think it makes more sense to do Devontae Smith because Preston Williams is your lengthy, route runner with physicality. Devontae Smith is just going to give you everything and speed, which fits that Miami. Like, Tua's just going to love him.
Can you imagine if Deshaun could be throwing to Jamar? Could you imagine? But no, it won't happen.
That'd be fun.
And, Stephen A, just finish it off, my lord.
One last thing. Sir, you go first.
I've had an issue this whole entire season with this topic. And it's honestly gotten to a point where this has to be the most, I guess you could say, questionable playoffs I've ever seen in my life. Let me list something real quick. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in my opinion, are the most inconsistent 10-5 team I've ever seen in my life. You're going to sit here and tell me that Tampa Bay is going to go into the playoffs against a New Orleans team that absolutely destroyed them earlier this season. I mean, it wasn't even funny. It was a blowout. Has to go against a Packers team that is going to win the NFC, But my main point in all this is, why has there been so many inconsistent teams in this league? This season has proven to be one of the most inconsistent seasons I've ever seen. You got the Bucks, 10-5. They don't look like a 10-5 team to me. Mm-hmm. Some games, like I said before, they come out looking like the 1980s 49ers, and some games they look like the freaking 2020 Jets. I don't get it. I don't get it. Go to the AFC. The Oakland Raiders should be a playoff team. They should. They should be a playoff team. But no, because they're
Las Vegas.
games. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders should be a playoff team. But no, they aren't. Because they win games like the Chiefs, and they almost beat them again, but then they come out and they get blasted by the Falcons. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the worst 11-0 team, now 12-3 that I've ever seen in my life. You barely beat out the NFC East in every single game. Every single game. You barely beat them out.
They lost to Washington.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'm sorry. You lose to the Washington football team that is in disarray right now. You barely beat the Cowboys 2 weeks after, so they were in complete and utter disarray. You beat the Eagles that almost came back on you when Carson Wentz was in the prime of his meltdown this season.
Yeah, that was probably his best game.
You literally barely beat the NFC East. You lose to the flukiest team. I mean, I'm sorry, the worst team in your division, the Bengals. You lose to a team in disarray, and then you also lose. So, and then the team that I mentioned earlier, the Rams, complete collapse. What happened? What is going on with these teams? So my topic, and I guess I'll finish it with the reveal. Get the discipline up, man. Come on. This has been the most undisciplined season in the NFL, in my opinion, because there are so many teams that just should be better than what they are. And I'll end off my topic with this. I'm not saying they should be a playoff team, but they should be in contention. The Chargers could have had a spot in these playoffs. They could have.
Yeah,
Because they lost so many games because of dumb mistakes, because of this one possession that they could have won, but they blow it. So, my rant of the week is discipline. Get it up, because my God, I don't know what's going to happen. You can usually see what's going to happen in these playoffs. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in these playoffs. I really don't know. I mean, we say that the Packers are going to win the NFC East. I mean the NFC in general. But how? How is everything going to shape up under? Who are they going to play? I don't know. I don't know who they're going to play. The Seahawks have looked bad the last month. The Rams, who the hell knows? If by some miracle the Cardinals get in, okay, great. If the Bears get in, great. They're hot. But look what happened to them. Look at the collapse in the middle of the season. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know. So, yeah, discipline.
I'll tell you what happens. My one last thing is that this week, the Cowboys beat the Eagles. The Eagles beat the Saints earlier this season.
Oh, okay.
Well, the Saints have beaten Tampa twice. But guess what? Due to inconsistency and undiscipline, Tampa has beaten both Green Bay and Las Vegas.
Yeah. Wait, no, Tampa lost a lot. Oh, Las Vegas. I'm sorry. Yes, Las Vegas. Yes.
So if Tampa beats Green Bay, then the NFC is open. So then, on the other side, if Tampa beat Las Vegas, well, the Raiders beat Kansas City. Well, sir, I leave it with this. If that can all happen, the Cowboys can beat Green Bay and Kansas City. Cowboys winning Super Bowl.
Yeah, hold on. Tell me who's your top 5 quarterbacks right now, dead or alive, huh? And how much do you care about a ring if the best player got carried by the team? Now would you lose?